Hello, it is Sunday, September 25th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Sunday puzzle today, so it is a big, jumbo-sized grid, probably roughly a midweek difficulty, perhaps, but a large grid. So it does tend to be the longest solve, so I hope you've got time to settle in for that. Anyway, this extended edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by David Innes, Josh Lucas, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous ongoing support of this channel. I do very much appreciate that. So thank you to them, and thank you to all of the members of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. If you'd like to become a patron and get as a benefactor, the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, or as any tier of supporter, access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. You can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve, and there's a link, of course, in the description field underneath the video. Do subscribe to the channel as well, and you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in a link in the description field as well. So let's get on to the puzzle. This is, as noted, a Sunday puzzle. It's entitled Take Two, and it was constructed by Megan Morris, and I believe this is Megan's third crossword for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So Take Two is certainly the kind of thing that could have many implications to a crossword theme. I mean, doubles of anything, maybe take two away from something, I don't know. Let's start solving. Do some backup dancing, ? Backup dancing, moonwalk or something like that. I mean, you literally dance backwards. Not sure. Designation on some pronoun pins. Designation. So would it be an actual pronoun itself, or would it be something them, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's keep looking. Things with wires, often. Mics? Not sure. Error of the crime drama, Luther. Oh, this was the crime show starring Idris Elba. I think that was a BBC show, if I recall correctly, and I could be wrong, but that was my memory. Let's look at the crosses. Things with wires, often. Wire bras, maybe? What about this be? Hit hard. Bash? These look like reasonable crosses. Let's check them and see. Circulation unit. Circulation unit. Could be circulation meaning air, circulation of blood flow, circulation of a periodical like a newspaper or a magazine. Readership, reader. That doesn't look like it would fit very well here. Draws, stands. Not sure. I mean, I could have something wrong here. Let's keep going for now. Sweets could be plural, or it could be a pet name for somebody. You could refer to somebody as Sweets, for instance. Lifesaver for short. Maybe an EMT, an emergency medical technician. Would that work here? What about this one? Many a donor for short. Oh, an alum, maybe. Yes, so a former attendee of a particular school might donate to it. So that could be it. Steps up to the plate. Bats in baseball, I think is probably what that is. John Legend's Blank Me. All of Me, I think, is the song. And Sweets. Oh, Babe. Right. Okay, so it is a pet name. So you could refer to somebody as Babe or Sweets. Sort of similarly. And then Blank Park, city west of Anaheim. Oh, I don't know. Anaheim is a city in California. It is where Disneyland is situated, but I don't know this. What about this? Burdens with. Looks like it could be something's on. He burdens her with something. He dumps on. That doesn't really quite fit. Buena Park? I don't know. I only say that because there are several things in the sort of Disney corporate structure that have Buena in their title, like Buena Vista, and, well, I guess they all say Buena Vista something, but I was just wondering if maybe there's some connection there. I don't know. Anyway, press junket, and there's a asterisk here. So generally speaking, an asterisk not implies, it generally denotes that the clue in question is thematic in some way. It will deal with the puzzle's theme. I don't yet know enough about what's going on with the theme to take a guess about what that is. Let's keep going. I'm just going to go back up to the next across clue. Musical whose name is an anagram of the members of a musical. I don't know. I mean, Rent is the name of a musical in 4 letters, is an anagram of the members of a musical. I don't think that's right. I mean, this anagram's to turn the bird. I don't think that's correct. What does that mean? I'm not sure. Pico de gallo ingredient. Well, pico de gallo includes tomato, onion, cilantro. There we go. That is probably the case. So musical. What? I'm just not very familiar with musicals particularly. Oh, Cats? Oh, right. So musical could have several acts, and that is an anagram of Cats. Very clever. Okay. So leave slack-jawed. To amaze somebody, to leave them slack-jawed. To confuse is to... What? You may disagree, but IMHO, in my humble opinion, you may disagree, but IMHO. Actress Lara Flynn Boyle, who I think I know from Twin Peaks primarily. And confuse is to throw somebody. Yeah, you've been thrown, you've been confused. That's plausible. If something doesn't just increase, it soars. Numbers, for instance, figures on a chart. A trimmer, a beard trimmer, for instance, a razor, for instance. There we go. Oh, funny that I just said for instance twice. Here we go. There's another one. Twitch, for instance. So some kind of nervous tic or something like that, or twitch. Press junket. Oh, fake news? Are we removing the ET from press junket? We're taking the last 2 letters away from it? That could be it. That would make then press junk, so junk in the press. That might be how this works. I think it probably is. Let's look down. Fountain of Youth. I'm not sure. Twitch, for instance. Oh, reflex? No. Still not quite sure. What about this? Take in, eat, maybe? Oh, Twitch, react. You could react to something, Twitch, in response to it. Okay, I think that's probably correct. Fountain of Youth. Oh, I still don't quite see. Oh no, never mind. I was wondering if this was the take 2 and it was Fountain of You or something, but no, there's no asterisk on that. What was this one? Didn't look at it, I don't think. Oh, what's in your wallet? So what's in your wall? I mean, that sounds very plausible as a sort of punny clue. This does look like Buena, doesn't it? Maybe that's actually the answer. What's in your wall? I don't know, some kind of, a frame, joists, or studs. What's in your wall? Oh, I'm just not sure. Let's keep going. Confidence building mantra. I can do it, or not sure. Burdens with dash dial. A tachyometer on I think dash here referring to a dashboard in a vehicle. It's probably what that means. I'm not certain this is correct. There might be other options, but that comes to mind. So reel off. To relate or to list or to iterate? No. Auto hobbyist project maybe. Not sure, but I'm not doing brilliantly well on this, am I? Faint pattern. And occupy. Let's keep looking. Stretches of time. Could be eras, perhaps? Historical stretches of time. Circulation unit. Odd-numbered page, typically. Is that recto? There's recto and verso, I think. Is that what this one is? Sometimes I get these confused. Like the head of a badminton racket. Well, that's an oval. So that's fairly straightforward. So that's looking decently good. Weekend destination for an NYC getaway, maybe New York City getaway. And I wonder if it's significant that NYC is abbreviated. That might mean the answer is abbreviated as well, but it doesn't necessarily need to be, because sometimes, this is already a longish clue, so sometimes they will just abbreviate things, especially in locations, without needing to imply that the answer is abbreviated. The reason I'm saying this is because typically those two things go together. So typically, if there's an abbreviation in the clue, the answer will also be abbreviated. It doesn't, as I say, it doesn't need to be the case. Like Legolas in The Lord of the Rings, well, he was an elf character, right? So he's Elven, maybe? And modern reproductive tech initials. I was going to say IVF, in vitro fertilization. Maybe this is Elfin? Is there any way that's right? Lines on which music is written. Oh, musical staff? I would have thought staves, plural, so staff, singular. Is there something about this that maybe I'm on the wrong track with this. Let's keep looking around. This looks like state, doesn't it? What would that be? Oh, upstate. Oh, I see. So I guess a getaway from New York City, you go to upstate New York? That must be what that's suggesting. Oh, this looks like outlet. What's in your wall? Some kind of an electrical outlet. There we go. Okay, I was thinking inside the wall. Oh, this looks wrong. Circulation. Maybe it is reader after all. So circulation, we have 500,000 readers or something, a publication might say. So hit hard, belt maybe, draws. Oh, allures. Okay, so if something has a draw, it has an allure, it's seductive. And hit hard is belt. You could belt somebody. Okay, so stands, stomachs. If you abide something, if you can stand it, you can stomach it. So burdens with is dumps on. Okay, fair enough. I'd sort of discarded that at one point. Recto looks like it's correct. So I think that is what's referring, recto and verso, I think are referring to the two pages in a bound book, for instance. Okay, barbershop quartet. So this would be barbershop quart. So maybe a quart of shaving cream. There we go. And is this just the reverse of what I thought it was? IV, not IVF, but IFV? Or is it IFF? And that's just an initialism I can't seem to bring to mind. I'm not certain, and I'm not going to get any more help because that's the end of there's no more communication going on. Maybe it is stave. Musical stave. I mean, I just really think this is IVF, in vitro fertilization. So if that were the case, and this were then some votes in the... Oh, is it spelled... Oh, right. Okay, this looks better. Right. So I was saying Elvin, LVE, and I don't know if that's an alternate word or if that's completely wrong or what, but Elfin with an I looks right. And I thought of that because some votes in the Bundestag, which German legislature, would be nines voting no on a bill. Okay, so there we go. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with all that. So stave. Okay, fair enough. Musical staff, the 5 lines of musical staff, stave. Okay, suffix with bad, mad, sad, and glad. Badness, madness, sadness, and gladness, I suppose. Profit is net gain in accounting terms. And net, meaning after expenses and so on, have been discounted. Or have been taken into account more accurately. Okay, opera whose title character is a singer, Tosca. And major water source would be a water main, big water pipe. And bitter is acrid, so you could have, bitter, acrid kind of air or something like that. Spanish 101 verb, estás, is my guess. Which is to be, right? Or that's the thing is that's probably not the infinitive. That's probably just, I'm probably confusing that with, ¿cómo está? How are you? That kind of thing. And again, as I think I've said each day for the past 4 days consecutively, I need to learn more Spanish because I'm not entirely sure what infinitives look like in Spanish. So what to be would be, which is what I assume this is. Let's keep looking. Title play character who never shows up. Godot, Waiting for Godot, the play. And Qantas Hub on luggage tags. Well, Qantas is the largest Australian airline, so Sydney presumably would be a Qantas Hub on luggage tags. Schitt's Creek role for Sarah Levy. I just don't remember all of the characters' names, even though I have seen this show. That's annoying. Sorry, I'll move on. Security blanket. So security blank. Security blank. This looks like it could be password. So this would be estar, or something like that in Spanish 101. That must be the infinitive form of to be. I hope that's right. Sorry if I'm saying something blatantly ill-informed, which would be entirely plausible. Security blanket. So right. Hidden password or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Oh, Twyla. Role in Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek, I think. Twyla. It's the daughter's name. I want to say that's right. Cargo could be a load. You're transporting a load, transporting cargo maybe. Opera that aptly premiered in Egypt. Aida, which is set in Egypt. Look at that. We have Tosca and Aida. Where was that? And we have Cats, which is not an opera, but it is musical theater. And then we had Godot from Waiting for Godot, which is a dramatic production. So especially in this sort of strip of the grid, quite a lot of dramatic productions going on. Good name for an archaeologist. Dug. You dug up a dig site. Expected is due. If something is expected, it's due. And Jennifer Affleck Ney Lopez. So Ney in French meaning born, and Ney with two E's being the feminine form of it. Okay, so a drop in the bucket, but without our ETs. This will be a drop in the buck. A drop in the buck. What on earth does that mean? Oh, are these all ET? They are. They are. All of them are ET. I'm sorry, I don't know why I highlighted those. That's a coincidence. But the ET is being removed from each of these clues. So what's in your wallet? Barbershop quartet. Security blankets. And then, yes, a drop in the buck. A drop in the buck. What does that mean? Not sure. Let's keep looking around. They're heard in a chorus. Well, a chorus could have various vocal ranges, including alto, one of the female ranges, standard female ranges. Blank psi, poli sci, maybe, for political science. And apocalypse could be... what? Doom? Maybe this isn't altos. Could this be something else? Oh, amens. Right. Okay. Yeah, look at that. A bit of good misdirection there. So apocalypse could be doom, and they're heard in a chorus. You could have a chorus of amens in a church or something, although this doesn't look very right. Is this poli sci with an I for political? I was wondering I thought maybe when it was abbreviated, it got granted the Y that sort of confers it its sort of status as its own word, but maybe not. So a drop in the buck. And oh, inflation. Right. Okay. Because price inflation effectively leads to a decline in the value of currency. So a buck, a dollar, could drop in value due to inflation. Okay, there you go. So that, I think, is correct. That's clever. Let's begin our adventure. I'm not sure. What about this? Letters to blank. Rock group. I don't know. I have no idea, in fact, I think. United Hub on luggage tags. Okay, so United is another airline. This one's a U.S.-based airline. Where would United's hub be? Well, actually, I know from having lived in San Francisco for quite a long time, SFO actually is San Francisco International Airport is a United hub. I rarely flew United, but I do know that they're the largest airline at SFO. So does that work? Let's begin our adventure. Off we go. There we go. Okay, great. Off we go. And to give for a time is to loan to or to lend to or to something like that. What about this? Power, wattage. So obviously that's in an electrical context, but often used metaphorically to refer to giving things power in general. So this looks like give for a time, loan. What is the remainder of it? What about this? Ancestor of Methuselah. Enos. It's one of those sort of early biblical figures. Methuselah famously lived for a very long time, I guess, although so many of those early biblical figures were said to have lived for a very long time. What about this? With 104 down, playground fixture. See 102 down, so playground fixture. Something. Playground fixture. Oh, why can't I see it? I don't know, but I don't. What about this? One of South Africa's official languages. Oh, Tsotsi? Something like that. Yeah, it is something like that. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, but I could be confusing two things, so I'm not going to put it in because I'm not confident. Okay, what about this? Does this give me some ends maybe? Consulted for feedback about something. What about this? Zero blank. Tesla for one is a unit. It's a unit of what, resistance or something? Actually, I can't remember what a Tesla is, resistance. So sorry about that. Could be referring to, it could be referring to the car company, but my suspicion is that's the least likely because that's kind of how it's most commonly used at this present moment. So I'm suspecting there's some misdirection. So it could be Tesla, the actual person, Nikola Tesla. He was a Serb, I would think. I'm almost positive about that. So that could be the answer. It's sort of more fun than unit because it's more specific, but let's see. Consulted for feedback about. Oh, I was going to say that doesn't look right, but then I thought, actually, yes, you ran something by somebody else. You consulted them for feedback about it. Okay, great. Maybe, okay, this could be all correct. Zero blank, zero cal, zero carb, zero what? Playground fixture. Oh, teeter-totter. That's something. A little sort of seesaw kind of thing, I think. Is that what a teeter-totter is? I think so. Cottoned onto. God, so if you cottoned onto something, you sort of caught on, you comprehended it, or you became aware of it. Give for a time could be loan out. Right, okay, there we go. So you cottoned on to, and to is in parentheses. This is important to note. This means that to will also be in the answer and not just in the clue. So cottoned, well, no, sorry, it doesn't. What it means is you would have to append it both to cottoned on and also to whatever's in the answer in order for them to match very tightly. That's what it's saying, sorry. So there won't be to in the answer, but you'll be able to add to after the answer, and then it'll match up better to cottoned on to. But anyway, I still don't quite see what this is. Got wise to, right. Okay, cottoned on to, got wise to. And as I say, the two you can append to each when you're sort of testing it aloud. Cottoned on to, got wise to. Okay, great. Website with a home favorites page. Okay, I have absolutely no idea if, I don't recognize home favorites, but just based on the fill, I suspect this is Etsy, which is a website, where people can sell things they've made or what have you. And home favorite, it seems plausible. Home decor, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's what that's referring to, but I think that's probably right. Okay, here's another chorus section. Didn't we have, oh no, we didn't have chorus section. We had, they're heard in a chorus. Anyway, so this is the kind of thing I was thinking before. Tenor, so there we go. One of the standard male vocal ranges is tenors. Okay, I think I was wrong about one of South Africa's official languages. I was sort of misremembering it. Tswana? I don't know. I'm going to need the cross. Oh, right. And here's our revealer. Right. Has no plan B, or when parsed differently, what each of the standard clues does vis-a-vis its answer. I wonder if this ET is the what each of the starred clues does vis-a-vis its answer, or when parsed differently. Oh, I'm not quite sure. What about this? 0 iron, 0 icon, 0. I don't know. Why can't I see what this is? It's almost done. I don't know. Sorry. Why not? Sorry, I'm just looking back at my keyboard because I'm trying to. Oh, to zero in on something, to focus on it. There we go. Okay, great. Sorry. All right. So, something without a net. If she has no plan B, she swims without a net, or jumps without a net. Sorry, jumps without a net. Oh, right. Jumps without an ET. Okay, has no plan B, jumps without an ET. All right. Why is it jumps? Jumps without an ET. Maybe this isn't jumps just yet, but the without a net, without an ET is very good, and I'm confident that's correct. Let's keep looking around. QVC alternative. So QVC is, I think, one of those home shopping networks. Is Home Shopping Network another one? Television channel from which you can buy goods being directly marketed. So HSN, Home Shopping Network. I suspect that's the answer. Summers on the Seine. This is, the Seine is being used to indicate France. It's being used to indicate the French language. I don't know why I can't seem to speak coherently at the moment. And often you'll get that in the crossword where a location will just indicate to you that we're using a different language or a particular dialect or even just a bit of slang from a particular place. And in this case, it's summers in the French language because we're on the Seine. Okay, Laura of Big Little Lies. Laura Dern was in the HBO series Big Little Lies. Did see that one. Excavated without is hollowed out, maybe? It's in a, underground, I don't know, cave or something. What the Beatles never did. Huh. What did the Beatles never do? I don't know. I'm not sure what that wants. Game of who, what, and where. Clue? Yeah, that's true. Clue, or in the UK, Cluedo. You have to name who committed the murder, with what they committed it, and where it was committed. The board game, that is. Okay, what the Beatles never did. Why don't I see what this is? Reunite. Right, yes, the Beatles famously never did reunite. That is true. Okay, cut choice. And a fillet? A cut of meat? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, filet mignon being a very famous one, obviously, of beef. Sir Isaac Newton work on the fundamentals of light. This will be the name of a book by Newton. And I bet it ends with IA. What about this? Start of a literary series. Book one. Maybe this doesn't start with IA. It could be book one. What about this? Greenlit, okayed, maybe? And more or less. And then here we have wood that sinks in water. Wood that sinks in water. What wood sinks in water? I'm not sure offhand. Okay, this doesn't. If this is okayed, then this isn't jumps without a net. Has no plan B. Oh, it's so funny that I can't. Walks without a net? Like on a tightrope? I'm not really sure. Small table fare. Works without a net, maybe. You work without a net. That might be it. And then that would fit the theme because we're saying the answers, each one works without an ET. The clue works without an ET, and then we can give it an alternative answer. That's very good. I hope that's the answer. Okay, crumple up. Yeah, I think it is. Crumple up is to wad up, as in a piece of paper. A pair is a dyad, two of something. Wood that sinks in water. Oh, I guess ebony sinks in water. That's interesting. Wonder if that's a density thing. Small table fare could be an ante, maybe. Table as in, at the betting table, I guess, in this case. Or a casino table. More or less. Yeah, more or less. That's sort of the case. More or less. Okay, ballet movements. Oh, right. No, it's ball movements. Okay. So it doesn't, so in this case, the ET doesn't need to be at the end of the phrase, but it does need to be at the end of the word so far. That may not end up being the case in the final one that we've not yet seen. But anyway, ball movements are what? Dances? Or that would be sort of odd because that would be the same meaning of ball. A ball is a dance, and then ballet as a form of dance would be, I don't think that would be right. So ball movements is going to be something that isn't ballet related, I wouldn't think. Longtime Miami Heat great, 2 fans. I'm not sure. That's a basketball team? I know it's ridiculous that I'm not certain about that, but I'm not. Okay, subleased is relet, for instance, an apartment. And playground comeback could be something like are so or am to, or, there's a whole kind of list of playground comebacks as they can be clued, which just imagine an argument between 2 children in which they just repeatedly say things like am not, are so, that sort of thing. Having South Asian roots could be desi. It's a term that's applied to the Indian diaspora. And then global brand of men's dress shirts. I'm not sure. Playground comeback. Okay, so it could be are so. That looks plausible. Oh. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's I am so, which also fits. Depending on whether you're referring to the other person, you are so, or yourself, I am so. So that would allow alma mater to be this. So alma mater, the school you attended. In fact, school of which you may be you would be an alum, and perhaps you're a donor. Okay, if something is grating, it wears on you, maybe? I don't know if I'm not hugely confident about that. Longtime Miami Heat great defense. Oh, Wade is somebody, right? Is Dwayne Wade somebody? Global brand of men's dress shirts. Eaton. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think this is true. And even though the name evokes the private English preparatory school, I think it's maybe a Swedish brand, or it's Nordic in origin, I think. So let's see. Is this... I think Dwayne Wade is somebody. I've heard that name. Let's see. Ball movements. I don't know. I'm not going to fill that in yet. I'm confident about the rest of it. An idiot is something brain. A pea brain, maybe? Oh, dribbles. Right, okay. Well, that's a fun cross with a basketball player, Dwayne Wade, which I'm now relatively confident is who that refers to, but I still could very well be wrong. Because we have dribbling obviously exists in several sports, but one of them is basketball. Okay, so grumps are... I don't know. It's bad overseas. Could be mal for French for bad overseas. So here we have another indicator of a foreign language. This one isn't telling us what language, so we just have to infer that ourselves. League designation for the Durham Bulls and Salt Lake Bees. Well, I have to admit, I've never heard of either of these, but I know that in minor league baseball, they have things like the AAA leagues and AA leagues, that kind of thing. So I wonder if that's what this is. And then grumps are crabs. Right, you're a real crump, you're a real crab. Now this looks surprising. Likely to offend in brief. Okay, it's not that surprising because it could be non-PC. So we have 3 consonants in a row, which looks bad for the crosses, but works out okay once we know the answer. So not politically correct, a term that I guess really particularly came to prominence in the 1980s, probably. I'm sure it predated that by some degree, but I think that's when it really took off. Okay, bias. Slant. You have a particular bias, a particular slant. And open as a gift is unbox, maybe? Reasonable is fine. If something's reasonable, it's fine. That doesn't look very good here, does it? Black Jeopardy for one. Oh, I have seen at least one of these. It's an SNL, or maybe there's just one, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it's an SNL skit. No, I think there's more than one. I think it's a recurring thing. Anyway, I think it's a sort of recurring premise on Saturday Night Live, the sketch comedy show. And then reasonable could be, and it's a sort of takeoff of the American quiz show Jeopardy. Anyway, reasonable is sane, and then organization that merged with the 41 across in the 1970s. So AB, I assume this is the American Bar Association. I don't know what group it would have merged with, but we'll find out eventually. This looks like Exterminator, doesn't it? Ticket Matt. Okay, so right, as I don't know, I guess speculated that it may. Here we have an example of the ET coming out of the middle of a clue, so it does not need to come out. Well, it neither needs to come out at the end of the full phrase, nor even at the end of a particular word. So here we have tick master, someone who masters a tick infestation, an exterminator. Oops. All right, very good. And then I still don't see that. German Chancellor Scholz, so the current German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, successor to Angela Merkel. And author Ellison, Ralph Ellison, is an American novelist. Oh, optics, right. Okay, optics, and I didn't see it because it's spelled in this sort of outdated English manner in which there were more CKs in places where we would now simply use a C, such as in optics. At least I assume that's why this is that way. You see that often in, texts that are a few hundred years old. Focus of many a law. And off limits is taboo, and so right, many a law could be a ban. Many a law that could be the focus of many a law, banning some kind of dangerous substance or what have you. Maker of the E.T., the extraterrestrial video game, Atari. I think this game was famously. I don't know if it was that it was bad or sort of buggy or what, but there's kind of a urban myth that. I don't know if that's the right word for this, actually, because I'm not even actually sure if it's a myth or not. But people often say that there are, hundreds of thousands or millions of cartridges of this video game buried in, I don't know, Nevada or somewhere like that. I don't know. I don't remember if I know if that's true, which means I don't know, I guess. If I can't remember if I know something, I guess it means at this moment I don't know it. Okay, huff. If you're in a huff, you're in a bit of a snit. And Missouri County on the Arkansas border. Ozark? Is there any way that's true? I'm not really sure. It looks like it just could fit in that bit of fill. Tool chain. Tool chain. Not sure. What about this? Oh, this is the security blanks. Oh, right. And I already had seen that the ET could come from the middle of a word because it does here in security blanks. Sorry about that. So I acted as though that wasn't known, but it absolutely was. There's something I forgot that I knew, I suppose. Okay, so username and password? Yes, okay, because it is security blanks, and I don't think I took that into account. I think that's why I came to that confusion. That's how I became confused in that way. I think I sort of subconsciously just took off the ETS entirely and didn't really think about it. So it is security blanks, not just security blank, and that makes 2 of them, username and password. Very good. This does look like Ozark. I'm going to put it in and see. Word between what and that. What was that, maybe? And tool chain is something, but this looks useful. Complete A to Z. There we go. That looks right. Tool chain is, oh, right. Okay, I was trying to think of, I suppose this is probably intentional misdirection, but I was trying to think of some kind of chain that's used in a, I don't know, arts and crafts context or home repair, something like that. But no, it's a chain store, Lowe's, which will sell tools and other hardware. Power up is boot up a computer, maybe? The very blank, the very idea, you might say, it's scandalizing. Country whose capital is named after an early U.S. president. Oh, Liberia. Oh, what is the capital of Liberia? Oh, I can't remember, but I know this is the case. Okay, and then Twitch problem. Oh, lag. Oh, right. So we have another reference to the word Twitch, well, another instance of the word Twitch, but in this case, it's a reference to the streaming website, I think, rather than the other one, which was reacting to things. So, internet lag. Buzzing about could be a do. It's quite a buzzing about, quite an ado, I suppose you could say. And then, oh, haven't seen this one yet, rocket scientist. So we remove the ET and we're left with rock scientist, which is a geologist. That's one of the more straightforward ones of these so far. It's not even particularly punny or anything like that, so a geologist, good. Moved fast. If you moved fast, you really tore down the street, say. And how you should take me in a phrase. Take me as I am, goes the phrase. R&B's India, okay, I must admit, I'm still not familiar with the work of this musician, but I have encountered their name enough in the New York Times crossword to recognize it. India Ari, India.Ari specifically. And then period in curling. And is that the name of a sort of particular part of the game of curling, or is that something else? I think that, I'm not sure. Must be that. What's up, Doc? Oh, I didn't see this. And then letters to, right, because letters to Cleo, rock group. I wasn't sure about that. And I never looked at the cross for some reason. I should have. Could have gotten that a little more easily. Okay, oops. What about this? Chandelier Singer, 2014. I'm not sure, but I do remember there presumably still is, a singer named MIA? No, that's a different person, because I can imagine who MIA was, and I don't think that's who this is, because why do I think that? I don't know, I just do. There must be some sort of subconscious reason. I think it's not MIA, but I do think it's not. Hermanos de la Madre. I mean, I guess it either is or isn't. We'll find out. Okay, well, it's not, because this will be a plural. So, Sia, okay. I think that must be why, because I was remembering that that's also a singer. Okay, great. So, hermanos de la madre would be tios for uncles. So, a mother's brothers would be uncles, tios in Spanish. There we go. All right, so something that I managed to achieve in Spanish today. I'll take it. To occupy a place is to inhabit it. And birdwatchers organization once. Oh, really? Interesting. So maybe this isn't the American Bar Association. Oh. I don't know. The NBA, maybe? The National Birding Association or something like that? And then maybe this was the American one, and they merged? That's so funny that they both have initialisms associated with other, presumably better-known groups. I guess there are probably lots of cases of that sort of thing, especially with, relatively common letters like these. So anyway, faint pattern would be a tracing, right? You could trace something faintly on paper. Or there are other things this could be. It could be tracing left as a result of erosion or something. Okay, confidence building mantra. Well, mantra, it does look like it ends with can. So yes, I can, maybe. I can't remember what I was speculating before. It was the wrong number of letters. But anyway, that's probably it. Auto hobbyist project, maybe. Oh, a kit car that you assemble from a kit. Okay. Reel off, to recite. Why didn't I get to that before? I don't know, but I didn't. Do some backup down work. Okay. So this is punnier than I had appreciated before. So the question mark, I think I've mentioned that at least once elsewhere in this puzzle. I can't remember. Maybe not. The question mark indicates a bit of punnery or wordplay. And in this case, backup dancing means dancing with the sort of your own backside, I guess, is basically what it's saying. So twerking here. And then designation on some pronoun pins. Okay, it is what I thought it was going to be, they. And then rapper with the 2011 hit album Ambition. I'm not sure. Is Wiley a rapper? Is it hyphenated or something? I might just be thinking of someone else. I probably am. That is probably Wiley, or I'm making it up. Here, take this, have it. Oh, okay, so that would be whale. I don't think I know that name. And then this would be the before times would be eves, right? So of course, an eve is a time before a particular day, the eve of that day. There we go. All right, that was the Sunday Solve. Not the quickest Sunday Solve of all time. Never sort of brutally difficult, but didn't just absolutely fly through it. Didn't soar through it. And let's look at our theme. So we had our clever revealer works without a net. So in this case, I was thinking jumps without a net or something like that. I don't know. Works without a net is referring, I think, generally speaking, to probably construction workers or people who are working on tall buildings and there isn't there aren't safety nets underneath. I suspect that's what that is referring to. It's certainly a phrase that exists. And anyway, it alternatively is suggesting works without an ET, which is what's going on with all of our themed clues. So what's in your wall is an electrical outlet. The press junk is fake news. A barbershop quart is shaving cream. A rock scientist is a geologist. Security blanks could be your username and password. A drop in the buck could be inflation. A tick master is an exterminator. And where are the rest of these? Yes, ball movements are dribbles. That's very clever. And there we have it. I think I saw all of them. Yes, it looks like we did. So there were quite a few. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 theme answers, that kind of thing. Almost always possible, only in the Sunday grid. I shouldn't say possible. Certainly most common to have that many in a Sunday grid, especially when they involve this kind of conceit. So there we have it. The Sunday puzzle, a nice, I would say, sort of reasonably resistant but not brutally difficult solve by Megan Morris, which is, I think, good for a Sunday. And there we have it. Let me know how you fared in the comments. I'm always curious. And now we can move on to some clues from yesterday's puzzle. Stephen Giblin explains the Oakland Athletics won 3 successive World Series titles in 1972 to 74, thereby earning a three-peat. However, the term did not come into general usage until the late 1980s in the realm of the NBA. So thank you for that context. And then Stephen also points out, you never went back to 26A. The answer was died. Oh, I don't actually remember what the clue was here. But Stephen says, you never went back to 26A died, which refers to the idiom died laughing. So thank you for that. And he also points out, I'm fascinated by the different ways the answers are easier or harder to come by based on how you happen to come upon the clues for the first time and the number of crosses already filled in. Just another way randomness can rule our lives. It's absolutely true. I mean, a solve path through a crossword is just, it'd be interesting to see for particular puzzles if there's commonality, maybe more commonality the more difficult the puzzle is because people need easier routes in. But I would suspect it would be almost completely unpredictable. And yes, randomness does indeed rule our lives. There's one other comment I wanted to find. Yes, here from Nicole Hicks. Nicole rounded up the various mottos in other languages of U.S. states. So let's run through those very quickly. L'Étoile du Nord is a French phrase meaning the Star of the North from Minnesota. Oro y plata means gold and silver in Spanish for Montana. Fatti maschi parole femmine loosely translates to strong deeds, gentle words in Italian for Maryland. Eureka is Greek for I have found it for California. Ua maka ke ia o ka aina I ka pono in Hawaiian roughly translates to the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness for Hawaii, of course, and I apologize for my probably particularly poor pronunciation of that. And finally, Alki is the, I guess, unofficial motto meaning by and by in Chinook for Washington. So very good. Thank you for that. great roundup there. And I was curious about those, so that was nice. And that's that for today's video. I'll be back tomorrow for the Sunday puzzle. Should be a much quicker, smoother solve. I hope you join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.